Hello. Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in. Welcome. We are here for Monday, which is Sex Ed with Coach Catasha, which means today we are going to be finishing up our hygiene series. This has really been a labor of love. This is our final part. This is the last little piece, so we likely won't be here long today, but that's cool too. If you have any questions or want to know what's going on, what we have coming up, or any something that pops up on the screen that you're not sure what it is, just let me know. I'll be happy to answer. Let me see. I don't think I have all of my chats up, so let me try to find. Mm-mm-mm. Sure what it is? Oh, just let me know. Okay, how do I get? Oh, I have to go to that page, don't I? Yeah, I do. Okay, hold on. Let me get my chat up. Um, we are live. There we go. Um, okay, okay. All right. Okay, we got that up. Put that back there. So, welcome back. Thank you for coming, showing up. We're going to be finishing up our last little piece. And then I'm going to take the whole series and I'm going to chop it up and make it into shorts that are going to be available on YouTube. So, if you missed it or you didn't get to see the other sections, we will be posting them again with a breakdown, something shorter than, an hour and a half of me talking. So that is what we have coming up. Let me get our screen pulled up here. Um, let me see. Mm-mm-mm. Oop, there we go. All right. So when we left off last week, we were talking about the butt. Again, if you are new here, this is hygiene for college bound adults. So this is how you care for your body, what you should be doing, and to make sure that your body is clean and that you are not a nuisance to yourself and to your new roommates. All right. So starting with this is where we left off last week. So starting with the butt, what are you going to need to care for this area? Butt necessities, okay? Antibacterial soap. Antibacterial soap is going to be a necessity for the body, but it's also going to be a necessity for the butt because it controls the bacteria on the skin and it cleans out your pores. And you are going to need a washcloth because it helps exfoliate and remove dry skin. Now, those are the basic things that you're going to need to take care of your area back there. But here are a few additional things that you can pick up to make the process easy for you and to just give yourself the ultimate care. But essentials. One thing you can use is body powder. The talc-free options assist in odor and moisture control. Body power, body power, body powder gives the body the ability to suppress the moisture, which controls the bacteria because bacteria need the moisture and the warmth to replicate. A hair removal system. Razors, trimmers, wax, and depilatory creams can remove body hair. So if you do plan on removing the hair back there, there's a couple of different ways that you can do it. Whatever way that you choose, you need to make sure that the trimmers that you're using are especially for that region, and not that you're not moving them from your genitals back to your face, or any type of care up here. And then tweezers for ingrown hairs, they may appear after hair removal. If you are shaving your butt, if you have curlier hair, you may notice, or may get ingrown hairs from the when the hair grows back from shaving, or however you choose to remove the hair. Tweezers help you get in there, get that hair out, and help relieve the pain associated with ingrown hairs as well. And then a bath net. And this is a loofah sponge, but we have grown past that. They make loofahs now that are not balled up. Originally, this type held on to moisture and bacteria, and they were like, full issues. Well, the ones they have now, they're open, the air can get through them, they can dry properly so the bacteria doesn't hang out in there. So you can get one of those African sponges, the longer sponges, but it's going to be good for exfoliating the butt and getting any kind of stuff that may be trapped back there to help that, to loosen it up and remove it. Fun fact, the butt is the largest and the most powerful muscle in the body. And when you think about it, yes, because the muscle helps us to walk, right? The butt helps us to move our legs, but it also helps us to keep our posture upright for our torso. So it does a lot of work that we're not necessarily aware of. Ingrown hairs are common on the buttocks, okay? You can get an ingrown hair in the crack, you can get it on the cheek, you can get it easily on the buttocks. Because it's an area that is usually compacted, those hairs tend to go back into the skin more quickly, and that's a good reason why you want to make sure that you're exfoliating. Hair can trap fecal matter and debris, okay? So let me put this in a way that doesn't get us blocked, okay? So your anus there's only a small space in between your testicles and your anus, and that small space is called your perineum. If you have debris around your anus and you are sweaty, that debris is going to move with gravity, okay? So if you are on your back, then that can travel this way. If you are on your stomach, then that sweat makes that fecal matter mobile in the other direction. If someone is up under you, it pretty much sends the fecal matter into that situation. So it is important that you are washing and separating your cheeks and cleaning. It is not gay. They're your butt cheeks. I can't make everything gay, okay? They're yours. So open up your butt cheeks and clean it out, because if you do not, and that fecal matter travels, you can leave it, say, on someone's sheets or furniture, and you can also leave it on someone's body. And so we want to make sure that we are not taking that sweat and making it mobile and introducing it to bacteria, our fecal matter, and then that bacteria is traveling on past our testicles and down on into whatever else that we have up under us, and that's not what we want, okay? That is the opposite of what we want. So make sure that you're cleaning. And inadequate cleaning post-poop contributes significantly to butt odor. So odor is actually made by the bacteria's interaction to the sweat on the body, the sweat and whatever else is on the body. So if you are experiencing odors from your butt, it's usually because you have not cleaned properly after fecal matter has passed through that area, and sweat has started to interact with what you've left behind. So it is important that you are properly cleaning your rear end, because you don't want to leave that, you don't want to leave residue somewhere that it's not supposed to be. Okay? All right. Next section. What will you need? We are talking about leg care right now. Or, sorry, feet. Feet necessities. Actually, hold on. I think we do have, that is supposed to say leg. I went through this so many times, and of course it says feet. Of course it does. I went through it a million times, and I was like, it's all perfect. It's not. So that's supposed to say leg necessities. Antibacterial soap controls the bacteria on the skin and cleans the pores, and then the washcloth helps exfoliate and remove dry skin. Leg essentials. Body powder helps to assist in odor and moisture control. So if you are on the bigger side, or if you just have a condition where your legs touch or your belly sits in your lap or all those types of things, putting a talc-free body powder in there cuts down on the moisture, which cuts down on the bacteria. A hair removal system. If you do shave your legs, you will need to have a hair removal system on hand, and that could be a different one from the way that you shave your underarms or that you shave your genitals. It's completely up to you. And then tweezers for ingrown hairs that may appear after hair removal. And you can get ingrown hairs on your leg. I know people don't usually think about that, but you absolutely can get ingrown hairs on your leg. Legs. Fun fact. Legs account for a major part of your body weight. So your body weight is made up of a lot of your legs. And there are many hair follicles, large hair follicles on the legs. And so those pores can absolutely become clogged, and they can become visibly clogged. You can have blackheads on your legs. So make sure that you are properly exfoliating the skin. You want to do it at least 2 times a week, getting that dead skin off of there, getting those pores cleaned out, getting that sebum and that gunk out so that your pores have a clean, fresh, oxygenated environment, and the bacteria can stay even and balanced. Your body and skin can stay in what's called homeostasis. Moisturize the legs often, especially in winter. Your legs have a job, have a duty, and your skin on your legs also have a duty. So you have to care for the skin on your legs. I know that we're used to in the winter not putting lotion on the part you can't see, but it is important to add that moisture back into the skin and into the body to give it the best care that it needs. And that is going to be for your elbows, it's going to be for your arms, it's going to be for your legs, but it is a requirement that you need to moisturize your skin to take care of it, and to add nutrients back into it, because we are showering, we are going out and sweating, and our skin is sucking in the nutrients from the outside, it's expelling the toxins from within our body, so it's doing a lot of work. And don't forget the sunscreen on your legs. If you are a person, those shorts, the legs are going to be out. Make sure you're putting sunscreen on your legs as well, because sunscreen blocks from harmful UV rays. It doesn't block, from tanning or whatever else you need, but some of those rays are a little too strong for your skin, and suntan lotion helps to block some of those harmful rays. What you will need, section 3, for the feet care. Necessities. Of course, they're going to be antibacterial soap, controls the bacteria on the skin and cleans the pores, and then a washcloth helps exfoliate and remove dry skin. Those are going to be the basics of what you need to clean your feet. Now, if you want to give yourself the princess treatment, these are things that you are going to need that will make your life easier for the span of your foot care. Okay? Toenail clippers. Oh, do you see this again? It got me again. This is not what this is supposed to say. You go over it so many times and I still miss it. Okay, hey, you can't win them all. So you need to get toenail clippers so that you can go through and you can clip your toenails evenly. You can clip them down low so that you're not ripping up nobody's sheets. We don't need that. And that if you have jagged or broken nails, that you can, clip them down and clip them over evenly. Moisturizer. You're going to need moisturizer to help control your dry skin and add nutrients to the nail bed. Your cuticles on your toes are just as important as the cuticles on your hands. You can also rip and tear dry toenail cuticles, so it's important to moisturize your toes and your toenails as well. a pumice stone for ingrown hairs that may appear. Oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing. The pumice stone is to remove the calluses and to scrape off any dead skin that you would have on the bottom of your foot. I cannot believe I checked that so many freaking times. So many times. So annoyed with myself. So many times. Anyway, a pumice stone to control the dead skin on the bottom of the feet. If you don't have a pumice stone, that's fine. You can go outside and you can use the concrete on the ground. We are not too good. We have used curbs to do what we needed to do. Okay, and if you don't want to do that, you can use a salt scrub to exfoliate the feet. This is really good because you could do the top of the feet as well, and that salt scrub like scrubs and gets the dead skin and things off of your foot and brings that suppleness back to your feet. I'm so mad about that. All right. Shower shoes reduce the spread of fungus and bacteria in a household. In your case, it's going to be in your dormitory. So you need to have your shower shoes on every single time that you go and take a shower. Unless that is your personal shower, but even in your personal shower, you're sharing that with your roommates and their company. So it's still important to make sure that you are wearing your shower shoes each and every time you get into the tub, unless you are cleaning that tub before, because you can spread athlete's foot and other types of bacteria between roommates. Wash in between your toes, okay? Toe jam is a buildup of like socks and lint and debris and dirt and all kind of things you've picked up throughout the day. So make sure you are taking your towel and getting in between those toes. Exfoliate the bottom of the foot 2 times a month. Same thing, use your pumice stone. If you are more of a barefoot person, you may have to do that more frequently. If not, you may have to do it less frequently. But you want to make sure that you are keeping in mind what the bottom of those heels look like when you are going out in these slides and you're going out with, these cute shoes on and you are taking your shoes off and laying up with your friends. Make sure that those feet are looking right, right? Use oil to lock in moisture. It's the same thing for your hands. You want to make sure that as you are washing, that you are bringing nutrients back into the skin, just depending on what it needs, and hydrating it and, taking care of the foot. Trim your toenails regularly. Okay, that's every once a week. You need to be looking and seeing what's going on. Look down there, see if you're looking jagged, seeing if you're looking rough. You're also going to need an emery board. Well, you don't need it, but it's good to have one. To have an emery board in case you snag a nail or something, you can just kind of buff that down and, across the nail if you need to. Again, don't forget the sunscreen. If you know you're going to be out on the beach, or if you know you're going to be hanging out, or you're going to be wearing open-toed shoes, your feet need to be protected from those harmful rays of the sun. And lastly, if you have issues with bacteria on the feet already, put your socks on first when you get out of the shower. It's going to be the first thing that you're going to do, so that you are not sticking your foot inside of your underwear and then pulling your underwear up onto your crotch, because you are basically transferring the fungus from your athlete's foot into your crotch. And the fungus for athlete's foot is the same as the jock itch. So you are pretty much just giving it a new home. So if you do struggle with athlete's foot or fungus on the feet, it does happen. Again, you're going to be in an environment where that is highly likely. When you get out of the shower, make your socks your first piece of clothing so that you're not transferring that onto your underwear, okay? All right, so let's go to some frequently asked questions. Here are some common concerns and frequently asked questions among new students. Number 1, what's the best way to control body odor? You need to bathe. Bathe at least once a day and following any strenuous activities, including lifting weights or Pilates. I think that sometimes people don't think that because they did they weren't running or jogging, that they don't need to shower. If you have been rolling around on the floor, if you have been worked up a sweat, if you have created a hot, moist environment for the crotch and your underarms, then that bacteria, you just started the club up in there. And so it's important to get those wet clothes off of your body and get them and take a shower so that you can control the bacteria for the environment that you just are taking it out of. How often should I change my sheets and towels? Change your sheets at least once a week and your towels every day if possible. Bacteria can accumulate in the fibers and cause irritation and odor. So washcloths or anything that the small towel that you would be using to wash your body, that needs to be changed every day. Your big towel you can get away with every 2 to 3 days because you're essentially just drying off a clean body. But even that drying off process is going to transfer bacteria and skin and all kinds of things onto that towel. So you're only going to use it 2 or 3 times before it's time to change it out. Okay. And that's why it's also important to have a set of towels that you don't use, a washcloth and a big towel that you don't use, that's for your guests. So say if you have your brother comes down for homecoming or something, that towel is specifically for them. Or you have someone come over and study and they end up staying over for the night and they need to shower. You're not giving them your used, torn up towels. You just take one towel from the set, one big towel, one small towel from your set, and put that aside and make that your company's towel. And you would wash it after every use. Number 3, can poor hygiene affect my chances of getting an STI or a UTI? Yes, it can. If the immune system is fighting to keep the environment balanced, it won't have time to detect and fight rogue intruders. So if your body is already working, trying to do this thing over here, it makes it difficult for it to be able to be on guard to catch any new bacteria that are coming in. And then, of course, a urinary tract infection is a direct result of bacteria entering the urinary tract. So if you have bacteria present and that urinary tract opens up and it gets in there, it could go into the bladder, which could cause you to get a kidney infection. And because that bacteria replicates in the bladder and, could cause other issues. So yes, you can have other issues from not taking care of your hygiene. How often should I change a pad? Number 4. How often should I change a pad, tampon, or menstrual cup? Every 4 hours is the standard practice. If you have heavy periods, you may use more. If it is under 2 hours, you need to contact the nurse because you are experiencing heavy bleeding and they need to figure out where that's coming from. The standard practice is you should be changing your tampons every 2 to 4 hours. And that 2 hours is usually like when you are on your heavier day. So usually at the beginning of your cycle. If you are going through multiple forms of menstrual, however you're using it, cups, tampons, pads, whatever you're using, in a 4-hour period, then that would be considered heavy bleeding and would need to be diagnosed and checked out by a physician. So if that is the case and you find yourself changing your tampon 2-3 times in a 4-hour period, get with the nurse and let them know that so that they can give you the proper care that you need. You also may be experiencing other side effects from having that heavy bleeding. So it's important, if that is happening to you, that you talk to someone about it. Number 5, how do I talk to a partner about their hygiene without offending them? Be gentle. Suggest products and techniques to address the issue instead of blame, and put together a shower kit for them. There are a lot of people who have never truly known good hygiene, or they were never introduced to it, or using scented soaps or exfoliating and all these different types of things. There are parts of the world that never happens, that people aren't having those discussions. And so it's not that your partner is dirty or whatever. It could just be that they've come from a different background that didn't have the breakdown of what you need to do to care for your body. And so if you have more of the information, putting together a shower kit for them and giving them instructions on this is what you do, this is what you do with that, this is what you do with that could help them, or even just giving them tips like, hey, if you do this or do it this way, or make sure you're doing this, or make sure you're opening up your butt cheeks when you are cleaning because it's important because of this, and this. Those kind of things put it into perspective and help them to move it along without you feeling like you are chastising or calling them, dirty or anything like that. Some people just don't know, and you have to move in a space that is informative rather than accusatory. Number 6, is it okay to share razors, towels, or deodorants with roommates? It is not recommended. Personal items can transfer bloodborne pathogens between a household, so keep stock of your own items and re-up before you run out. Now, there are some things that you can use. If you don't have a towel, of course, you can use any of your roommates' clean towels. You should not be using any of their used or dirty towels. Deodorant, you can probably get away with that. I would not recommend it, again, because your personal items, you have a different bacterial microbiome under your armpit than your roommate does, and so you could be swapping those bacteria, and one of you could have an issue or have a reaction to that. So it's important for you to know before you're going to run out, so that you can start the process on getting the things that you need before you're in a dire situation. So if you see the grid in the bottom of your deodorant, then okay, we're getting down to the end. I need to put that on the list and get me some more deodorant, or find a process to get that done, right? Because we have to, it's going to be your responsibility now, instead of your parents pushing you or getting those things for you and anticipating your needs. You're going to have to start anticipating your own needs. Okay? All right, you are ready. You have successfully completed the basics of hygiene for college-bound adults. The next few years will shape the rest of your life, so remember to have fun and don't sweat the small stuff, okay? This experience is about to open your eyes, and even if you don't, your major could change, and even if you don't finish school, it is still going to shape the way that you see the world. You will view the world differently after you have attended a university, because you have access to so many types of cultures and different types of people. I was fortunate enough to attend an HBCU, Langston University, and in that HBCU, I was able to find different cultures of Black people. And so I learned about Chicago culture, and I learned about Florida culture, and I learned about Dallas culture, and I just learned about all these different ways in which Black people moved in their bodies. And so when you go to university, there's going to be people from other countries there. And so I had international friends throughout my college tenure. And so you're really about to open up the door to the rest of your life, and it's going to be such an amazing experience. And hopefully this course can help it to not be fraught with did I do that? I did. Sorry. Help it to not be fraught with discourse between you and a roommate based on hygiene needs. We're also going to talk about, community spaces. I'm going to do another series about community spaces and, cleaning up after yourself in the kitchen, and what do you do when you have guests, and all these different types of things, just to help that transition into you being on your own. We talked about last week, oh my gosh, where is it? Hold on. We talked last week about my nephew, my favorite nephew of all time, going off to college, and he sent me a video of his dorm and stuff, and I was just like, oh my gosh. And of course, he is also going to an HBCU that happens to be the one that I graduated from. Crazy. But I absolutely love that for him. School's going to be starting up pretty soon, so we're looking forward to all the new students and all the new faces. I hope you have a grand time, and that you make many new memories and many new friends on the journey. Okay. All right. Do we have any questions or anything? I'm so mad about that presentation. I'm gonna have to go in and change it again because why would you do me like that? Like, I'm not even gonna tell you how many times I went over that. But, okay, in my own defense, um, I am, every time I go in to look for things to fix, I always find things to fix. And so, although I was looking over it, I was still like changing it and doing things to it and adding slides and doing stuff. And so it's just, anyway, it'll be fixed for the shorts for sure. We will re-record it, and get it set up for the shorts, and so that you have access to the information. Um, but yeah, okay. Let me see if we got any questions. I don't think that we do. Excuse me. I haven't been taking my allergy meds, so I'm just itchy all over the place. Everything itches. My ears itch. My nose itches. My eyes itch. The inside of my everything itches. Okay, okay. Let's get our weekly schedule for next week up so we can see what we have. Do I have it loaded? I might not have it loaded. Yeah, it is loaded. Okay. So next, here's our schedule for next week. Um, for the week of July 28th to August the 1st. That August the 1st show is gonna be funny because I'm gonna be out of town. I'm gonna be like, I'm not. Just prepare yourselves. Okay, prepare yourselves. So next Monday we are going. Well, today, not next Monday. Today we did Hygiene for College Bound Adults Part 3. That's our final um, iteration of that series. You will be able to catch the other parts of it on YouTube soon. So keep that keep that in mind. And then tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. Central Standard Time is going to be our Pleasure Tools Tuesday, and we're actually going to be talking about sex furniture. Specifically, we're actually going to be. We're gonna show some stuff. So it's gonna get deep tomorrow. We're gonna show some of the things that we have, and like what to do and how we use them, and all kinds of things. So we're gonna be showing that tomorrow, for Pleasure Tools Tuesday. And then Wednesday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time is going to be Ask Coach Catasha, where you will have the opportunity to chat with a live sexpert, which is me. You can come in, ask me your sexual health questions. You can ask me in the chat. If you're not shy, you can leave your questions in the chat and I will answer them live. If you are shy and you don't want people in your business, which I completely understand, you can email me. If you email me the question, I will bring it back to the chat on Wednesday and we will still discuss it live. It won't be associated with you asking. So people don't have to know that, that's your business. Um so oh, I didn't even see that. Don't even know when it came in. But yeah, so you have that will be a floor that I will open up for you. I do want to give just a little baby trigger warning because that class, I don't, it's not a curated class. Those are user questions, and so sometimes it can get spicy. It gets spicy. Okay, so make sure you have your big underwear on when you come for Ask Coach Catasha. It is literally becoming one of my favorite shows though. So I'm cool with that. Sex Tech Thursday, we're actually going to be talking about queering reproduction, where we are discussing alternate ways that people are recreating families outside of the heteronormative scope. So we're going to be talking about IVF. We're going to be talking about polyfamilies, things like that. Just the different options and ways that people are creating families in this time frame. And that's going to be Thursday at 12:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and then Friday is going to be Late Night with Coach Catasha at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, where we're going to be chatting about sex and relationships and all types of juicy gossip. So it's probably not that juicy, but we'll be here chatting about it. I don't know how much juicy we got, but tune in. Make sure you're following us on our pages. You're going to follow us on YouTube, follow us on Twitch. You can follow us on Facebook as well. You can type in Coach Catasha on any of those platforms and you should be able to find me, or Expression Over Repression, and which is my company. And we will be happy to offer you free sexual education. Okay? If you have something that you have a question about, or something that you would like to discuss, we would love to check it out. I'm also going to be doing, next month is my birthday month, and so I'm going to be opening up my Patreon to do some of the classes that we can't really do on these platforms because of the way that our filters are set up and the mods are set up. So I'm going to be opening up my Patreon at the base level, like the $2.99 for the full month of August, for people who want to come in, so that we can talk about, like, just the stuff we can't really get into. We talk about A spots and O spots, and prostate milking and things like that. Like, I do believe that you need to know how to do those things, but they're not gonna let me talk to you about that here. So I'm gonna be opening up my Patreon hopefully tomorrow, or maybe I'll get it done today. It's got a lot of work. I gotta do this anyway. I'll be opening up my Patreon, and we'll start in August doing some of those shows. Catching some of those shows, and just getting into the nitty gritty of it there. So after September 1st, of course, our tiers will come back. So if you get in on the ground floor, you can get in on the tier. You can get in on a regular tier at a premier price, pretty much. So early bird get the worm. So if you come in early, you get access to the additional stuff without having to pay the additional price. Okay? All right. That is our show for today. We will be back here tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, where we will be talking about freaky furniture. So make sure you have us saved, you have us locked in, so that you don't miss a thing, okay? If you have any questions, you can reach me at expressionoverrepression@gmail.com, or Coach Catasha at expressionoverrepression.com.